Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be building an A-frame dollhouse for our 3-year-old. She's almost 4, and for this year's Christmas present, I'm going to be making her this dollhouse. Now I'm going to try to do this very simple. I don't want to add a whole bunch of features that she's not going to end up using, like extra doors and windows or stairs going from the first floor to the second. I'm just going to make it look like a house, make it look really nice so it fits well in her room, and make it fun for her. So kids have an amazing imagination. They could pretend a cardboard box is a dollhouse. So you don't have to do a ton for this. I'm just going to try to make it look a little bit nicer than that. So for the actual structure of it, I'm going to be using regular plywood. Don't have to get too fancy with this. It's just going to be painted and a few features added on top. So I'm going to cut this down and create sort of that A-frame triangle box that I'm going to be working with. Now I am going to add one window on the top floor. There's not as much going on up there, so it's not as interesting, so I'm going to add in one window. This will also make it look really nice from the back side of the dollhouse once it's finished. Now I've got all the pieces cut out, ready to go, so I'm going to start assembling. I'm going to be using wood glue for this. The wood glue takes a while to dry, so I'll hold that together with a few brad nails while it's drying. Now I'm going to add in the divider for the second floor, and I'm first going to put in a larger beam right in front of the piece of plywood. This will almost feel like a log cabin or a ski lodge type of look, and I think that will just kind of dress it up a little bit. You'll see at the end what that looks like. Now I'm going to start painting the back side of the dollhouse and a few other spots. The roof I'm not going to paint because I actually have plans for something else to go over top of that. For the back wall on the inside of the dollhouse, I'm going to be using wallpaper, and I'm going to attach that with spray mount right here. You just spray that on, let it dry for a few minutes, and then it's ready to press up against the wall, and that will stick and hold really well. So I'm going to cut pretty close to the size that I need, and if there's any extra, I'm going to come back with a razor blade and cut that off. Now I'm not using any dividing walls to distinguish what rooms there are in the house, so I wanted to use sort of the flooring to show where the kitchen is and where the living room begins. So I'm going to be cutting out these small kitchen tiles out of some PVC plastic. They're just about 1 1/4 inches wide, and I'm going to be laying these down in the house for a kitchen floor. Now when you're working on a project like this, I find it super helpful to have a good super glue or CA glue on hand. The brand that I use is Starbond Glue. They have accelerator spray that dries the glue within seconds. They have a few different thicknesses on their glues, and then even a few different colors. So whatever you're doing, they've probably got a really good option for it, so go check that out. Now I'm going to be using that glue for attaching the tile down to the wood floor. I'm just going to put 1 drop of CA glue on each tile, put that in place, and within a couple seconds it's going to be hardened and ready to go. So I'm just going to lay this out, add in a floor about 8 inches wide, and that will give enough room for a small kitchen on that first floor. Now I'll also use a little bit of CA glue to attach a little piece of wood to kind of frame in this tile floor and divide the rooms. Now to finish off this floor, I'm going to add in some grout, and to do this I'm going to just use some white caulking and make sure this is water based so that you can wipe this off with water afterwards. So I'm going to spread this around with my finger, and basically as you would regular tile, just press the grout down into the cracks. Once I have that all filled in, I'm going to come back with a wet cloth and just wipe off the excess on the top of the tiles. That will leave just the cracks filled in with the grout. Now for the dollhouse roof, I came up with this idea with the table saw. I tilted the blade at a 45-degree angle and cut a whole bunch of triangles out of this 2x6. Then I'm going to take it back to the table saw and rip 1/8-inch sections out of this, and that will create sort of this roofing shingle texture that I'm going to use for the roof of the dollhouse. Now I'm going to rip down the rest of this board and then go over and attach it to the dollhouse. Now I'm going to attach those quickly with 1/2-inch staples, and I'm also paying attention to offset the gaps or notches on those shingles, make it look a little bit more natural. Now the wood looks so bright and new, I want to make it look a little more natural and weathered, so I'm going to take the torch and just slightly burn the wood and darken it a little. You could also use stain if you don't want to burn the wood, but I'm going to use the torch. It's really fast, doesn't have any fumes, just make sure that you have good ventilation with the smoke. Now I'm going to come back and add in a few trim pieces along the edges of the house. I'll also burn those so that they match with the roofing, and then I'm just about done. Alright, that just about finishes up the video for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really was aiming for something that's a little more simple, not a massive dollhouse that you can buy, but something smaller that's not going to take up a lot of space in a room, and something easy or simple enough to build myself. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button down below. Also, you can check out a lot more of my videos on my channel. I post a new DIY video each week, so if you're interested, go check that out and consider subscribing. That would mean a lot to me. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one.